So I want to preface before I get into this video that I have no idea how long this is going to be. And I also want to mention that everyone's college experience or like student athlete experience is completely different. My experience is in no way going to reflect exactly how your experience may have gone or will go. So take that with a grain of salt. I just like kind of want to give some ideas on like what to look for, or like things that you can expect whenever you get into college if you haven't already started college, and just, I don't know, enlighten other people about what the college experience as a student athlete is all about, because it's kind of different than a normal like college student would be. And so I don't know, I'm really passionate about talking about my college experience, and I loved my college experience, but it also was one of the hardest times of my life. College is just one of those things that is like the best thing that's ever happened to you and the hardest thing that could ever happen to you, and it's really hard to explain unless you've ever been through it. So I just want to preface that before we get into this video. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tamar, and you guys should subscribe and just stick around. I know that you want to watch more. I did Vlogmas if you guys want to watch a bunch of vlogs and catch up on that. I film a lot of like lifestyle, beauty, fashion. I talk a little bit about my college experience. I have in the past, but I kind of want to like bring it back up because I don't want to ever lose that athlete side. Like obviously I'm done and I'm retired, but once an athlete, always an athlete type deal. So I wanted to sit and talk about my college experience. I'm not really sure if this is gonna be experiences that I've had or more of like things that I have learned. I kind of have a list here of things that I kind of learned, but I'm not gonna like go into every detail about my college experience. I'm gonna talk a little bit about like freshman year advice, like going in, what to expect, injuries and dealing with that, relationships in college, dealing with your teammates, coaches, stuff like that. But you guys should definitely follow me on my Instagram. I post a lot more on there than I do on my YouTube channel. I always have my Twitter and Instagram linked down below, and I also linked my Pinterest as well if you guys want to follow me on there. So you should definitely check that out and make sure that you follow me on my other social media. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into this video because I don't want it to be super long. The first thing I want to preface is that if you want to see like how I was recruited and like kind of how my recruiting process went, then you can like DM me or message me down below, because I don't think that my recruiting process was that like difficult or dramatic or anything. But if you just want to know like how I was recruited, then you can DM me, or if you want me to like film a video on that, then let me know below. If you guys have questions about just like student athlete life and things that I don't mention in this video, then comment them down below, and if I like it and I don't respond, it's because I'm holding them all to do a Q&A. And yeah, so if you have questions, please do not forget to ask them, because I definitely would love to film a Q&A kind of talking about my college experience and answer more in-depth questions that you guys may have. Listen, we're not gonna do that. Like I said, my name is Tomar, and I played collegiate volleyball at Lamar University. It's like a smaller D1 school in Beaumont, Texas. I'm originally from Houston, so it's not that far from home. And when I was actually being recruited, I honestly didn't really want to go out of state. I really wish that I was more open to going out of state, but I was just not someone who was like ready to experience life outside of Texas yet. So I went to a school that was closer to home. A lot of people had different opinions about it, but that's another business, so it is what it is. And I also wanted to mention that both of my parents are Jamaican, and neither of them really played sports at all, and I was the first in my family to play a sport and go to college playing a sport. So a lot of things I didn't know walking in. I had no idea what to expect. The recruiting process was really different for me. I didn't know what to look for. I mean, I knew what I wanted in schools, but I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know, like, my family's not like a really big like college person. We're not really into one university versus the other. We don't really keep up with sports outside of like me and my brothers playing sports, so we didn't really know what to look for. We're not really like, I didn't really have like priority college that I wanted to go to. My main goal was to go somewhere where I could get a good education, because I've always been really about school, and I have always taken my education super serious, and so I basically mentioned to my coach when I was recruited that I really wanted to do nursing, and I knew that it was going to take a lot of like discipline on my part, but ultimately that I really, like, I wasn't going to let volleyball get in the way of that. And I know a lot of people have issues when it comes to doing like harder majors and be a student athlete because it's hard. And if you haven't like been on my channel for a while, then you wouldn't know that I actually failed out of nursing school at Lamar because I was a student athlete and was trying to juggle the two. So if you don't have a lot of information going in, then you can kind of set yourself up for failure, or, you know, just like not have the right support or the right questions to ask, things like that. So I definitely wanted to mention that before I started this video, because I know that there's a lot of people who have like parents who were athletes or siblings that were athletes, but I didn't have that. I really was a test dummy for my family. So yeah. So I graduated in 2015 and I started at Lamar that fall. We didn't go in the summer. A lot of schools do summer school, and then you like train with the girls before you train with your coaches. And so if you have the opportunity to do that, that is amazing, and definitely take it, because I mean, you don't really have a choice if you're being recruited, but you know what I mean. That's the time for you to kind of get to know the girls and kind of get to understand how your coaches are from your teammates' point of view, because they've obviously been there before you've been there, and you have a chance to kind of build on your skills before you enter into college. And I guess that is kind of gonna start off my like freshman year advice, because I think the hardest transition for a lot of girls is you're playing club and you're doing so great, and you know, you're like the star athlete on your team or whatever, and then you get to college and every single girl who was a star athlete is now on your team. So you're not the star anymore, and you're having to learn a new system. A lot of coaches don't run the same system when you get to college, so you're having to learn a new system and adjust, and you're getting used to being away from your family and having your own freedom, stuff like that. So it's a really big adjustment, not only like going to college, but going to college not knowing really your teammates. Like, you know who they are, but you don't really know them as people, and then having to play for a coach that you never played for, playing their system, stuff like that, fighting for playing time, all of that. It's a lot to take in, and a lot of freshmen struggle with that because of the transition portion. And I just wanted to mention that if your teammates are reaching out and are, you know, like trying to help you and give you advice, stuff like that, definitely take it. I mean, obviously, if you can tell that it's like conniving because they don't want you to take their spot, things like that, it happens in college. College is a business. It's not like you're not playing for funsies anymore. And so definitely take the advice that they're giving you. If they are giving you constructive criticism, it's not to be rude. It is definitely to help you, and they want to win just as much as you want to win. And especially being upperclassmen and all that you go through when you're in college, you're not going to let a freshman come in and mess up the culture that you've built at your college. And that's a big deal. Like, most schools have a culture, and when you enter into that college, you are conforming to that culture, and you don't ever want to mess up the culture that is there unless it's a toxic culture and something needs to change, which is what happened to me. And you know, we kind of were the guinea pigs trying to change the culture back to the way that it needed to be. And so my college experience wasn't the best. We weren't, you know, like top in our division or anything, but I learned so much while I was there, and I think that's why I loved it so much, and the people that I met, things like that. So like I said, everyone's experience is different. So everything that I kind of just talked about is kind of under the umbrella of trusting the process and being patient with the process, and just understanding that your time will come. Trust me, your 4 years are going to go by so fast, and if you're not playing the first game of your freshman year, don't think that that is going to determine the rest of your college experience. If it's one of those things where, you know, you feel like it's unequal play time or whatever the deal may be, like, just trust that your coaches are doing what's best for the team. And if you work hard enough and you go in for extra reps and you talk to them and watch film and do all the things that you're supposed to do, your time will come. So be patient with that. I know that it's hard for a lot of college students to adjust to not playing as much as they used to, but at the end of the day, you're all there for one ultimate goal. And if you guys are winning and, you know, things are going as they need to be, then I definitely think that as a teammate, you should be happy for your team and not be selfish in that. Just know that your time will come. And then freshman year, everyone's super excited to come in, and you know, you hear about college parties and going out and meeting people and stuff like that. But walking in as a volleyball player, like, I know that not all sports walk in and start their season as soon as they start college, but as a volleyball player, you are in season as soon as you start school. So you don't really have the luxury to go out on Thursday nights and go out every Friday and, you know, do all the college-y things. Like, obviously there are times when you can like go out or, you know, go to different functions, meet new people, but you're also in season and you have practice and you have to go to classes and you have study hall and you have other things going on at the time. And so, like, trust me, your time will come. You're gonna have fun, you're gonna get to go out, you know, you're gonna get to meet new people, meet boys, whatever like you go to college for, I don't know. Those things will come. Just understand that you have business to take care of on the court, and it is not just about coming to college and having a lot of fun. Like, that's not all that college is about. There's so much more that you can learn in the process of being in college. And going along with that, just prioritizing your time. I know that a lot of people, I know that it's hard as a student athlete to, you know, do school, go to practice, go to treatment, go to study hall, travel, play. Like, it's a lot to take on. So just make sure that you're prioritizing your time. Like I said, you can't go out every weekend. Like, you have games, you have homework that you need to get done, you have tests that you still have to study for. Just because you're a student athlete doesn't mean that you get a bye for that. I mean, hey, some student athletes do, but we didn't. Like, we still had to get stuff done. We still had to be in class on time. We didn't get to skip class, and if you did, the entire team was running for you. So it's not just about you. Remember that, especially playing a team sport, it's not just about you. It's about your teammates. You guys, I know every school is different, coaches react differently, but most of the time you're being punished as a team and not as an individual. So remember that you have other girls who are relying on you to do your job and get your job done. All right, now we're moving on to the fun part, injury. So my freshman year of college, I actually tore my ACL a week before conference started, and I was out for the rest of the season. I had the option to play, but that was my first major injury I had ever had. Other injuries I had were just like sprained ankles and stuff, and I didn't want to like damage the rest of my years in college just to play the remainder of my freshman year. Call it selfish if you want to, but I was just taking care of me and my health and my mental health, and I knew that I wouldn't have performed at my best if I was playing on a torn ACL. I could have done it, but I chose not to. But injury is definitely a big part of college. You are playing so much more intensely than you have ever played in the past. Like, yes, you when you're playing club, you're playing almost every weekend and you're playing multiple games in the day. But when you're playing in college, you have practice, and your practices are intense because you're practicing like you're gonna play on the court, and you're traveling all the time, and you're having to go to classes, and you're getting in at 4 a.m. on a bus and having to be at class at 8, 9 a.m. You're going to treatment, and it's just a lot on your body. And as you get older, obviously your body's gonna break down. And I know that a lot of people struggle with this, like mentally. I know for me, it was really hard to like get up and like feel motivated to go to rehab every day. But my biggest advice is to remember why you started playing. Remember all the people who are rooting for you, your teammates, the support that you have around you. Trust your trainers, like trust that they know what they're doing. Trust that they are going to get you back on the court because they want to see you playing and winning with the team just as much as you want to see yourself doing that. And so just trust them. I know, especially coming in your freshman year, you're like, who are you to tell me? Like, you're not my doctor. Like, who are you to tell me what's right? But just trust that they know what they're doing and they want the same outcome that you do. For freshmen, if you have an injury, report it as soon as it happens. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I'm not talking about you scratched your elbow. Like, boo-hoo, we all scratch ourselves and dive and skin ourselves, whatever. I'm talking about anything broken. If you feel pain in places that you've never felt pain before. I'm not talking about sore. I mean physical pain where it hurts to walk, it hurts to move, and stuff like that. Please make sure that you report that, because when you don't and it gets worse, it just makes it harder on yourself. Now you're having to play through pain that you could have probably prevented, and you're making something worse than it needed to be. And also make sure that you are doing your rehab and going to treatment on time, and you know, talking to your trainer about your schedule, making sure that you guys set that up, because that is such a big thing. Just making sure that you are taking care of your injuries like when they happen, because it only makes it harder on yourself. Like, I get a lot of us are tougher and you can play through pain, and I get that, but if you cannot play through pain, then why wouldn't you not want to play through pain? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So make sure that you're always reporting your injuries on time to your trainers, especially if it's like, I broke my toe on Christmas break and I'm coming back and my coaches are expecting me to train in the spring, but now I have a broken toe and I'm gonna be out for like a month. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that you're communicating with that as soon as it happens. Make sure you contact your coach, whether you want to hear what they have to say or not. Make sure that you talk to them. So teammates, I know a lot of people have mixed emotions about their teammates, and you know, a lot of people don't really like their teammates, and they kind of all have the same goal. They all want to play and win, and then off the court they want nothing to do with each other. And if that's you, boo, then like, great, do you. But it is so much easier when you can get through something with other people. And I know that the relationships that I built with my teammates is nothing like any other relationship I've ever had. Like, yes, me and my friends from high school, we all get each other, we're like BFFs, whatever, but the relationship and the culture that you build with people that you suffer with, you play with, you sleep with, you eat with, you like go out with, like when you're around a group of people all the time, it is really hard to not become family. Like, it's so much easier to build a family, and now you know on the court that I'm doing this for them. I'm not only doing this for me, I'm doing it for them because I love them, and it just makes it so much more fun. And like, the insiders that I have with my teammates and like the stories we can tell, we can literally sit for hours and tell a million stories and just sit and laugh over and over and over again. And it's just something that you can't share with anyone else. So if you have the opportunity to befriend your teammates and turn them into family, it is one of the best experiences ever. And that's the only reason why I didn't leave Lamar whenever I found out that I failed out of nursing school, because I was going to leave, but I couldn't have watched them play our senior year and not have been there with them by their side. Like, no matter how our senior year went or whether I contributed or not, I just could not have sat and watched them play knowing that we went through everything that we went through together and I wasn't there to support them or to be there for them or whatever. And trust me, you're not going to get along all the time. But one thing I have learned the most from being on a team with a bunch of girls 24/7 is how to speak up for myself. If I have an issue with something, I know how to speak up without being rude. Like, you don't have to go and cuss them out and be like, oh my God, you're awful, blah, 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 blah. You can sit and have a conversation. This is how you made me feel. Like, how did that make you feel? Whatever, let's move on. Sorry if I hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be this like catty drama. Like, I am so over the whole like cattiness between like women. Like, why can't we all just like come together and be one? And that was one of the biggest things that I took away from my college experience with my teammates, because they are like a group of people that I never want to lose. Like, sometimes I can't stand them, but like most of the time I can't live without them. So definitely, if you have the opportunity to build a family with your teammates, then take advantage. Then coaches. I know that this is like such a touchy topic for people, and not everyone has the best relationship with their coaches, or not everyone, you know, really likes their coaches. And I get it, like, things happen. There's a lot of people that you won't like, and at the end, like, there's a lot of people in life that you aren't going to like, but at the end of the day, they're still your coach, and I would hope that their goal is to see the team win just as much as that is your goal. And I mean, you don't, outside of practice and, you know, treatment and like being at the gym, like, you don't have to build a relationship with them if that is the issue. But if you're able to build a relationship with your coaches and be able to communicate with them after you're done, and, you know, come and watch the girls play and like sit in practice and, you know, just like have that relationship with your coaches, then that is one of the best things that you can do. Like, you can use them as a reference for things whenever you start applying for jobs and you get older. Like, if you start coaching, you can reach out to them and, you know, ask them for advice and things that you can do in practice and different techniques. And especially if you have a coach who really cares about you as a person and like your mentality, not just how you play on the court, that is something so special. And if you have the opportunity to build a relationship like that, then definitely take advantage. And then the last topic that I really wanted to talk about was relationships. I didn't really write much on like being in a relationship and being a student athlete because I personally wasn't one until my senior year. And the biggest thing that I learned is that you have a lot of things that you have to take care of, especially if you're dating someone who isn't an athlete and they just don't understand the time constraint that comes with being a student athlete. Like, there's times when it's like the middle of the day, you've like planned out your entire day and your coach emails you and they're like, or they text you and they're like, hey, we're all going somewhere, we're gonna go volunteer or whatever, and your entire day is like completely scratched. And if you're not able to be in a relationship with someone who understands how much time goes into being an athlete, then you might as well just let it go. Like, it's just not worth it. It's so much going in, especially if you're a freshman coming in. Like, I hate to be that person that's like, you don't want to go in like tied down, but if you want to get a true like authentic college experience, then I would recommend not going into college in a relationship. But that is your own personal preference. If you guys are high school sweethearts, and I know a lot of people who were student athletes and had relationships all throughout college and they were great, they just got married, you know, living their best lives, like that's great. But I know a lot of people aren't like that, and there's a lot of people who contemplate like, ooh, I don't know if I should stay in this relationship. Like, if you're even contemplating, like, get out. Like, it's not gonna work. So yeah, but just know that you have a lot going on and they have to understand that you are busy and you can't like be talking to them 24/7 because you just don't have time to do that. And if they don't understand that, then that is something that you need to let go. But if you're willing to work through it, then all power to you. But I hope that this video was kind of helpful and it answered questions that you may have had. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but kind of like had it together. But if there's other questions that you have, please feel free to leave them down below, and I would love to answer them and do a Q&A talking about them. And I won't mention anyone's names unless you get like personal or whatever. I mean, I won't mention your names because you might want to get personal, or it may be like a direct example of your situation. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful, and please don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and give this video a like if you liked it and want me to do more videos like this. And please do not forget to follow me on my social media. I always have a link down below, and I post a lot more on there than I do on here, so you guys can keep up with my life and what I'm doing on a daily basis now that I'm retired and I have more freedom. You guys can keep up with me on there. I'm actually in nursing school right now, so I guess I don't have that much freedom. But if you guys have questions about anything, please do not like hesitate to ask me. I love answering your questions, and I love talking about my college experience, and I love giving people advice about it because I know that it's hard and I get it, and I want to be able to help you as much as I can through the experience. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.